Hey, good morning, Casey, Hector.
Good morning.
Here in beautiful Tampa again. So, today I wanted to talk about a different aspect that was brought to my attention about the idea of mental wellness, right? I mean, we hear a lot about this now. And it is something that I've realized that I guess I used to take for granted a lot and didn't really think too much about it. But, the idea of how does dentistry affect your mental wellness? And it's very appropriate. We see this every day. And maybe a lot of people that suffer from dental conditions that are less than ideal do not know how much dentistry contributes to your mental wellness or lack thereof. So if I could just kind of paint the picture for you on what I see on a daily basis, and I mean a daily basis. Let's just say, for instance, I get a call from my children, and they're a little down, or they're in college and they're feeling like they're less than thriving, in a new environment and being away from home and dad's good cooking and mom's, care of being able to coddle them every day. And now they're out on their own in the world and they're feeling like, Dad, I'm a little bit depressed or down. And I say, well, honey, go take a long walk, go to the gym, go work out, and that type of thing helps. It's like, why does it help? Why does it help going to exercise or going to do something like that where you have to exert yourself and you take a long walk out in nature and all of a sudden you feel good? Why is that? And I have my own theories as to why, but I feel it's all about this fighting entropy, putting energy into something and trying to do yourself some good and feel like you're putting something back into yourself. Like if you go exercise, it's time well spent. And of course, there's nature's medicine of endorphins that are released. And you feel uplifted. You feel different. You come back, you take a shower, you're ready for the day, you're ready for that evening. Well, how does that work with dentistry? Well, I think it's entropy again. So, this part of your body is under a lot of duress. It's subjected to all different chemicals, in your foods that you eat. It's underwater at all times. It has an acidic environment full of bacteria. And look at the stresses and strains that we put it under. Things that we chew with our teeth, things that we eat, different textures of things, right? Colors and dyes and stains and so many things. To keep this at a point, if you compare it to a house that you live in your whole life and you can't move out of, it's like, how do we keep it in shape? And what happens when it feels like it's not in shape? It's a burden that you carry around. And whether you know it or not, it's on your mind. Whether it's something you can feel or something that when you smile, you're not confident in the way it looks. I mean, think about if you got a pimple on your face. You get a pimple on your face, you're paranoid about that. You get a blister on your lip. Oh my God. Talk about paranoid. You don't want to go outside. You get something that affects your eye. You want to put glasses on, you don't want to see anybody. This happens in your mouth. And when it happens in your mouth, whether you know it or not, because it doesn't go away, it just gets worse, you're living with that, and it affects your communication, affects the way you feel about the way you present yourself to the world. And just the way it is, people judge you on that. And this affects your day-to-day feeling about yourself. I notice something that people tell me a lot of times when they start to have some dental problems, and then you put a knee problem on top of that, and you put some other medical issue. What do they say, Hector? Feel like I'm falling apart. I feel like I'm falling apart. I'm like, you're not falling apart. Come on. Like, I don't know what else is going on, but I can fix this. You're not falling apart. I can fix this, you know? And sometimes I'm thinking, yes, they are falling apart. We need to fix this bad. But yes, the feeling of falling apart, that is not a good feeling to have, because you're letting yourself down. You know, it's like, where am I going to be in a couple of years? And you feel some shame in, you know, you're embarrassed at this point. It's like, doc, you don't even want to look at this. This is so bad that you're not going to want to look at it. And I was always amazed by that, because I see it all day long and I look at it as an opportunity. Like, yes, let's fix this up. You know, I use the analogy of, you know, it's like, it's a great feeling, you know, it's like getting into your garage on a Sunday, taking everything out, putting it out on the carport, sweeping the floors, putting shelves up, getting rid of all the stuff that you don't need, and then organizing it all back and spending a whole day on Sunday. How do you feel after that? You feel like you did something good. You feel like you're ready to go out that night and have a nice dinner with your wife. You feel invigorated. You feel like your mental wellness is a couple steps above what it was when you walked out there to throw that other box that just came from Amazon. You throw it in the garage, you're like, oh gee, I don't even want to look at it. You shut the door like, oh. You don't want that with your mouth, right? So the feeling of going in there and putting that in order is a great feeling for me and Hector and Mark, but it's a great feeling for you as a patient. And think about what happens to the rest of your life when that happens. I always say that, you know, the 10% rule, that, you know what that is, Hector? That any day, 10% of the patients that you're seeing that day are ready to make a change. I'm always looking for those people because I want to contribute to that change. Because when they make that change, if I can help them make that change, then they all of a sudden start to exercise again. They start to reconnect with their wife. Things move in the right direction. You know, it's the butterfly effect. And we do that all the time in dentistry. We sit there and we can tell when somebody's ready. And when somebody's ready for that change, we are a great place to start with helping that person on that journey towards fighting that entropy, fighting that breakdown, fighting that feeling of falling apart. And it's nice when it just starts with a plan. You know, it starts with a plan. We work on their A, B's, and C's. 8 months, a year goes by, and we look at it and we celebrate. It's like, look how far you've come. Look at what was just talk a year ago that has now turned into reality. And then I look at it, I'm like, look at your body. You've lost how many pounds? Now you're smiling with confidence. How has that affected your life? And when they tell me how it's affected their life, it's amazing to hear the stories. Well, I did this, I did that, you wouldn't believe what I'm doing, or I just jumped out of an airplane at age 70. I'm now teaching fitness to other people. Like, wow, what do you think your teeth had to do with that? Everything. Well, what do you mean? It's like, yes, once I tackled this project that I've been shutting the door on for years, not wanting to see what's in that garage, now I've totally got that under my belt. I feel confident I can do anything at this point. So, does dentistry affect your mental wellness? Absolutely. Absolutely. So we want you to take a look and see what your new smile is going to feel like, how it's going to look for you. So
they're beautiful.
When you look at that,
they're beautiful.
Does it look like something where you've imagined for a long time having?
I never imagined like this.
So smile really wide. Look how perfect they look.
They are.
How do you like the color and everything?
I love it. If you tell me that somebody on the street, another doctor in your profession, anybody could never ever tell,
Yeah.
then it must be okay.
Yeah, I mean, as I see
Would you be able to tell
No.
if you didn't?
If I saw you at a Starbucks, I would just think, boy, what a wonderful looking smile. You know.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
How long have you wanted that?
Long time. Long time. Longer than you could ever imagine. Thank you.
I'm so happy.
Thank you. Changed my life.
You're welcome.
You did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And the nice thing is, you know, if we can have that effect with you and get you off some of the drugs that you think you may need slowly, yeah, that's a great feeling, and it's good for everybody. You know, it's good for you, it's good for your family, it's good for the relationship that you have. And what is the value of that? The value of that is every time you present yourself to the world, you're getting that return on investment. So yes, you know, if you have that feeling of falling apart, if you have some projects in there that you just don't know what to do about, just start by going in and getting a really good exam, getting a really good plan. And it just starts one step at a time. You know, it's like, how do you tackle this? One thing at a time, put one foot in front of the other. And next thing you know, you're walking and jogging and you're on a marathon at some point.